Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Play My Music podcast. I am your host, Mark Reddick, and we're about to kick off another wonderful show. So, today I have with me Mr. Tim W. Middleton, all the way from Wairika, California. Let's show him some love. Yeah. All right, Tim, welcome. Let me slow
Hi
this
there.
down a little bit. Slow it down.
Yeah, I don't
this
have
nice
your
conversation.
real strong audio.
No?
Oh, now that's good.
Okay. Yeah, you just had to get past the theme music. That's all.
Nice.
Okay. So, tell us about yourself, Tim. How'd you get into this music business?
The business has not been so much the business as the art. Really, my art form has been photography all my life.
Okay.
And I picked up a guitar at 49 years of age, so about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I began recording right away. So I had written poetry and such, so it kind of came as natural, but much later. The guitar came for me, all through my 50s.
That's unusual. So all of those years, you never thought about or just plucked around with
I
guitar?
did, I took a couple of lessons. I had my sister's guitar, which she died. She was my older sister. She died. I treasured her Ibanez for a long time, but I just through life it didn't work. And again, my art form, as far as being an artist, has been mostly visual art, photography, videography, and graphic design and such. But I wrote a lot of poetry, and that started to come in my 40s. More the reflective, poetry of life. And then getting a guitar at 49 was my commitment to the relationship between myself and an instrument. And so then, a few chords and a few words, and it's amazing actually, because my first album, which I call Creativity, has 28 songs.
Ooh.
And it came in my first 2 to 3 years of just experimenting, playing a lot of different alternative tunings. Really helped me in just being creative. So
wow, that is an unusual and creative and unique story. Wow, okay. That's impressive too. I mean, just to have such a late start, but I'm a stickler for purpose and time, and there's a time for all things. And obviously at 49 years old, it was time for you to pick up the guitar and express yourself. So I like that. Okay.
it's part of that philosophy of keeping, an open, whatever the art form is, you have to try to stay open to it. And unfortunately or fortunately, the success, I've read a lot of autobiographies of famous musicians, and 20 something, you're a millionaire with a spotlight on you. And I think it would be really hard to be just purely creative at that point. Whereas an unknown guy at 50 years old, I was able to just be creative.
I understand. I share a lot of your sentiments. Because after a certain time, well, I just shared with somebody the other day, if me doing music, creating music, depended on quote unquote getting paid, I would have given up years ago, because it hasn't happened. Do it for the pure joy and love for music. So I understand. But you got some music here, so we're gonna check it out. So The first one we're going to play is a new currency. Share with us. What is that about?
Well, and to just backtrack to the last set, music, I don't consider myself a musician because I never really learned. And so what I have learned is that some people are amazing musicians.
Hmm.
So what I was able to do was put my words of poetry, essentially, not really trying to make us, a hit song type thing, but it's really about the poetry. And I really found that the music, um, has that element of carrying the words. And so
Hmm.
a new currency is sort of my busking song. It's about sharing, uh, and 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 sort of the disparity sometimes of the economic scale, where, like in Joni Mitchell's song, the guy playing for change, or playing for free rather.
Hmm.
Uh, and so a new currency is uh, is just that. It's simple, and and my sentiment about my preferred economic state, and sharing of money, of course.
Hmm.
Actual currency is what we would rather share than hate and bombs and war. And that's always been, it seems
Hmm.
like, the message of music, that is like, well, instead of killing each other, why don't we just like sing and
Right.
express, or whatever it might be, angst or joy. uh and so there you go, and you can hopefully follow along to the poetic realm of a new currency.
Hmm. Okay. We're going to check it out right now. A new currency. Let's listen.
Have you heard the new idea? It's about a new currency. All you really have to do is share the things that you have to give. It's no point in having too much. You can't take it to your grave, so you might as well let it go. So if you got more than one yacht, or maybe treasures of jewelry, a vacation home that you never go to, well, it might be that's not very good. There's no point in having too much. You can't take it to your grave, so you might as well let it go. Even if you don't have much money, you can smile, say something funny, lend a hand to someone who needs it. You never run out of love and kindness. It's all about paying it forward, getting rid of the karmic debt, and using new currency. It's tempting to buy more things, but true wealth is not about stuff. Surely be far more wealthy, living simple, happy and healthy. forgiving. Sharing can be the new motivation. Open your heart and enlighten your mind. Open your heart and enlighten your mind. It's all about paying it forward, getting rid of the connection, and using the new currency.
Okay. A new currency.
Yeah,
Nice.
there you have it.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay, good work, Tim. You sent us
I want
another
to say
song.
too that all my songs and all these recordings were done on a very small portable device, and some of them, a lot of them were outdoors. And I had a camper van, and I traveled, and I would use my van as a recording studio. So
That's interesting. Okay.
that's where.
So you get to capture some of the birds tweeting in.
Right, there's
all the-
some stream music,
okay.
and I mean stream sounds that you'll see. So yeah, the next song, "Grow with the Flow,"
Mm-hmm.
is kind of
Okay.
same thing in poetically and sort of my philosophic outlook on life, and even on catchphrases of go with the flow,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say grow with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, so
Okay. Well, I'm in for another treat. Let's check it out.
right
Grow
on.
with the flow. Here we go.
Whichever way you go on your free life, there'll be ups and downs, ups and downs. There's lessons given, lessons learned. Some friends are gained, some loves are lost. Yeah, some loves are lost. But if you go with the flow, you will know. Go with the flow, you will know. Most days go by quick, some take forever, but the only speed is now, not fast or slow. What you're looking for is not too far. It's your movie, and you're the star. Oh yeah, you're the star. And when you grow with the flow, you will know. Grow with the flow, you will know. That from young to old, and there to here, no matter where you go, there you are. Right
Yeah. I heard the water in the beginning and I heard the water at the end. I have a question,
Nice.
Tim.
Yes, sir.
For the verses, what time signature were you in?
I couldn't tell you specifically because that is something an actual musician would know. It just sort of they come out. So when you're saying time signature, like
So,
the
like, I was
beat,
at first, yeah, the beat, because I think
yeah,
for the choruses, it was like, bum, bum, bum,
right,
4, bum, bum. So it stayed within that 4/4 time signature.
uh-huh.
But for the verses, it's like at the end of each phrase of the verse, it went like an extra bar. So I was like, and then I didn't catch it, so I probably need to go back at later on and just listen to it again and see what time signature what that was, because it's like your own unique time signature for those verses.
I would take that as both a compliment and a reflection of my errors of not working with other musicians and even just a drummer or a lot nowadays. That's one of the critiques of AI or just computer generated, click beats or whatever, that you kind of lose some of that
Yeah,
natural
but
fluidity. But
I'm not mad at what you did. I mean, it's just that's look. You can't. I would never say anything against your creativity. Your music is your music. In fact, I had a guest on last week who did something. He was surprised that I caught it. He did something in 5/4, and he did it deliberately. So I say to you, Tim,
right,
you don't need a drummer for that. I just thought, sometimes some of us are just so
yeah.
naturally talented. We have no musical theory or very little musical theory behind us, and that's okay. But I just thought that.
Well, you know what I found with myself, how I explain it actually, even to myself, musically, is because it's the difference my whole life between harmony and disharmony. And like
Mm-hmm.
if you want disharmony, you turn on the news and you see, the
True.
disharmonics are very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But music is not such, because one bad note you can kind of hear it. But fluidity wise, timing, and since I've been doing this, I've learned more. I've been going back, buying DVDs of musical and watching. But as a photographer, one of my favorite subjects were live musicians. Because a musician is doing something fabulous, but they're doing it together.
Right.
And what my music and a lot of other, singer songwriters maybe are just guitar and themselves. But I have this dream someday of collaborating on either these older songs I have, or I have some new ones, with other musicians in the form of sort of like a chef, putting more ingredients together to make something, more palatable.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Okay. All right, cool. That was fun to listen to. Grow with the flow. All right, Tim. So we got one more from you. Play more, work less. Sounds good to me. Tell us about that.
Well, conceptually, again, as a kid, you go play basketball, you play in the sand, you play musical instruments, and then you go to work and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And the key to somehow life is enjoying what the work is that we're doing. And so playing is something I really tried. I've had a life of outdoor work as a trail worker, as a builder. I've built like this. Finally at 62, I actually built my own house in the mountains, but many years ago, was working in the mountains, building little Buddhist retreat cabins and such. And so the nature as a theme always seemed like, well, even though nature is busy 24/7, it's not really working. It's everybody's just doing what they got to do. And And again, I think you get more harmony if you're playing baseball than when you start getting multi-million-dollar contracts. It's less play, more business.
Yeah.
And so Play More, Work Less came out in the sense of, for me too, to play the guitar itself to actually generate income. And that was sort of this epiphany that a lot of people had as musicians way back. And I never got that. And I did my little share of busking and a couple of performances, but I'm not a very good marketer of myself, I suppose. Economically so, but I'm still working on it. That's why I did re-release all these albums. These songs are from 10 plus years ago.
Okay.
And Play More, Work Less, go for it. It's for us. It's for everybody. I think the child within always desires to play, and I believe there's one rule, sort of, that's the golden rule of playing, and that's to play nice. You know?
Yes.
And that can be applicable across the spectrum of conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We're going to check this out. Play More, Work
Thank you.
Less. Here we go.
I play more, I work less, and all my bills are paid. Got it made in the shade and in the shining sun. Oh, in the shining sun. I've learned from wise people it's best to keep life simple. Just keep working on love and gratitude. Oh, love and gratitude. I so appreciate all the worker bees, unbeknownst to them. I love their sweet honey. I love their sweet honey. I'm grateful for the farmers, their rice and beans I eat. I just go to a store. It's all provided for. It's all provided for. I prefer to live outdoors with the earth as my floor and to get my water from a clear mountain stream, a clear mountain stream. I think of what I don't have that gives me what I do have, like no cement under my happy footloose feet, my happy footloose feet. When I think of what I want to have, but it's hard for me to get, disappointment can prevail. And dim man I light, oh dim man I light. Questions in my mind can put ripples on my palm. The answers, my friend, are blowing in the wind, are blowing in the wind. My rockin' gypsy soul says all earth is sacred ground. Home is where my heart is. I love freedom I have found. I love freedom I have found. So that's so I'm grateful for everything that is. If it's cloudy or blue sky, I know I'll be alright. I know I'll be alright. So let's play more, let's work less. All our bills get paid. We got it made in the shade and in the shining sun. Oh, in the shining sun.
goes that water again. The beach.
I
Yeah,
was
man.
actually by a river in the mountains. A lot of these were recorded right outside of Yosemite National
Mm-hmm.
Park,
Okay.
where I worked for quite a few summer seasons, and then I traveled in the winters to Mexico and places that. So I have a lot of road songs and songs about freedom, traveling, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, first, let me say before you leave that it was a pleasure having you here, Tim. You're a wonderful guy to sit down and just kick it with.
Thank you.
I want you to come back. Make an appointment to come back with some more new other songs, and
Oh, thank you.
we'll have you on again and talk about those songs.
Oh,
Um,
right on. Thanks.
Before you leave, let us know, share with everyone where they can find your music.
Uh, I have it's basically now on all the Spotify and Amazon and this, that, and the other. If you look up my name, Tim W, the initial W, Middleton, Middleton. So Tim W. Middleton. Um, and you can find me on all there. I have 3 CDs out currently. I am going to release some more this year. I'm working on these songs, but these 3, the creativity is a double, and then East Side Songs. Next time we'll share some more. Which Play More Work Class is the first one from there, but
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate it so much. Oh, and there's an instrumental on there too, because I don't definitely have a trained either voice or musically. So people might enjoy some of the acoustic, or rather the instrumental ones I have. It's called Wordless Imagery.
Okay.
And as a visual artist, I kind of, that's, you'll see if you listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can see, this here is called Tiki Land. And that's what I call my place where I live. That my art, I've always signed with a T. So a long time ago, I had Timages or T Images, and that still exists as www.timages.biz, .biz, and that takes you right to where my music is and some of my other art, my books and such.
Okay.
Yeah, grateful for anything. I'd love to come back and share more, because this is a really wonderful venue to be able to do this with artists who, to me, our fame really is probably between us and the spirit. Like, I've been reading these autobiographies. It really doesn't matter whether you or Mick Jagger has made umpteen millions of dollars and is still alive, amazingly,
That's
as
right.
well as Keith Richards. But that those guys were really artists, you know what I mean? And performers, as well as an art form. But
Yeah.
if you folks like this tikiland.org, if you TKILAND.org is what I have for where I live. And it's kind of my whole overall natural building, living
Mm-hmm.
close to nature,
Mm-hmm.
health of mind, body, soul, a lot of walking, a lot of trees being the masters. Guitars are made out of trees, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see you again, and I thank you so very much, Mark. And
You're welcome, Tim. Good for you, man. Yeah. We want to encourage everyone that you just heard Tim give out all his information. I've been saying for the last few months, I need you guys, don't stream his music. I need you guys to purchase it. Download and purchase his music. Streaming is hard enough for everybody, but independent musicians and artists feel it even more so. It doesn't really help us. So if y'all can just download his music, it would be so much appreciated. All right, Tim. That's it for the day,
Mark,
man.
I just want to pitch into that. I thank you so much, because we came from the time where you'd go buy a record, and that's how
Yeah, man.
artists,
Yeah.
they didn't sell 2 million records. The record guys sold 2 million records, right? And nowadays, streaming I got 11 cents last month, you know, and you're like, hey, thank you for listening. But please, yeah, purchase to support the
Purchase,
artists.
yeah, man.
And we have other art. Most artists have other art. Like I have all the poetry for my songs and art and stuff. And that's what I always hope as us as humans, you know, that we really value what other humans create
Yeah,
in the way of
absolutely.
harmony and beauty. So thank you, Mark. I do appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir. Anytime. All right, guys, that's it for today. Again, please purchase Tim's music and support him. A very talented guy. Let's support him as much as we can. If any of you out there would like to have your music highlighted, please send us an email to playmymusic711@gmail.com. That's playmymusic711@gmail.com. All right, that's it for today. Until next time, God bless all of you. Peace. All right, Tim.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.